I was about to lose my house. I was about to lose my car. And, getting those calls constantly, you're behind, you're this, you're that. I was getting frustrated. So I had to unfortunately put myself into review, even after I joined, because I was just getting tired of constantly being it felt a lot like being harassed. My name is Samu Thabethe, originally born and bred in Soweto. I currently live in Ouaggassogh, but used to grow up in Mufolo. Sanda is 11 years old. He's a boy. He's an extroverted introvert. I'm not sure if that's a thing, but I think that's what he is. He's very smart, so he gets bored very quickly. And then with my little one, Simpiwe, she's 3. She's a diva. She's a diva. But what I'm trying to instill in my kids is they need to be there for each other. It's tough for firstborns, but I tell him, listen, she's gonna do this because she thinks the world is her oyster. But you need to show her the way. You need to show her how to share with you. The only way to show her is for you to be the example, so that when she'll also share with you, because she sees you doing those type of things. I'm an accountant by profession. Joined DuePoint 10th of June 2022, and my journey started there, and now I'm rank 4, wealth generator. Finally. Just before I joined, our company was going through restructuring. So there wasn't even a security in my job to say I will have a job by next year. I was lucky enough, I was one of the lucky few when during the restructuring, then other positions suddenly became available and I could apply and I got a job. I was able to secure myself at head office level to get a job there. It was bad. I was deep in depression, because not only was it just the work, it was also the relationship with the guy not going so great. So it was all these factors in, and the money just made it worse. So I got a call from my cousin Winnie, and all she asked me is, Sissy, do you want to make money? And I said yes. And she said, what are you doing on Saturday? I said, well, nothing, I'm sleeping really. And she said, okay, can we go have some coffee? Let's go grab some coffee. I asked her, where are we going? She said, we're going to Bryanston. I said, okay. So we were 30 minutes into the presentation, and I'm sitting there listening to Brandon talking. And he asked in the presentation, how long are you going to sit there and watch things fall apart? And I was like, wow, damn, guy, did you have to point me out like that? So that's when I decided I'm joining on the spot. I knew, having had watched Petunia's video, that if she could get out, I could also get out. And I can work myself out of this, especially if I just push DuePoint and get that extra coming in. When you're going through all these things, some of us are just giving up. You don't have money, you're like, well, what can I do? So for me, DuePoint brought hope. I always tell my team, ukhala akusizi kuhlula imbuzi, which means crying doesn't help. It didn't help for the goat, because the goat keeps going, meh, meh, slaghuis. It still happened to them anyway. I then had to sit back and I'm like, okay, girl, so are you gonna really lick your wounds, or are you gonna get up and push harder? Shifting your focus instead of worrying about not having the money. For me, definitely shifting your focus and focusing on the fact that you can get the money. It does a lot in bringing you back that hope that you can say, you know what, if I can push through and get to that 5,000, then I can pay that bond. Then DuePoint can pay my bond going forward. I don't want to stay the same. I don't want to have those calls anymore asking for when I'll pay their next installment. I use my fear of staying the same to fuel me to push forward and change things in my life. So I want DuePoint to get to that point where it lives up to the generational aspect of handing this business over to the next person, where Sianda can take over from me if anything happens, and he can take the business and grow it so that he and his sister can survive without me, because I want to show them how to fish. I don't want them to depend on me for the food. I want, if anything happens to me tomorrow, my kids don't have to knock next door to ask for bread. They will know how to knead their own dough to make their own bread with DuePoint.